When she's under 4 foot and she's angry and she come out looking like Toad.
Damn. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. This is Dwreck, and you guessed it, it's time for another ranking video. And today's ranking video, I'm going to be doing something that I haven't really talked about a lot on this channel, and that is music. And if you know me, I listen to a lot of music. I listen to rock, I listen to rap, I listen to trance, I listen to some country, very, very little country. I listen to a lot of alternative rock. I like listening to pretty much everything, especially like some things. I listen to music from like the 1950s and 1920s, like Frank Sinatra stuff. I'll listen to like Dean Martin and even Doris Day. I'll listen to like Elvis. I listen to the Beatles. I listen to like everything, like those classic rocks from the 1970s all the way to the 80s, 90s, 2000s. Very, very little bit of 2010s and today, but I'll get to that. But I would say out of all the bands that I listen to, like especially rock bands, one of my top favorites has got to be Disturbed. Disturbed, I've liked since I was a teenager, since I was 15 years old. When I first heard them, the first song I ever heard from them was when they did a remix version for Steve Austin back in 2000. That was the very first time I ever heard of Disturbed, and since then I listened to The Sickness, I listened to the Believe, and pretty much all the CDs that came out over the last 2 decades, I've listened to on the spot, and I liked every one of them. However, there are a few songs that kind of hit or miss, just like every other band. Like, there's going to be some songs that are like going to be hit or misses, but there's a lot of, and when they hit hard. So, that being said, and a lot of some of my friends and some of my relatives always ask me, like, what's your favorite Disturbed CD? Which, like, how would you rank them? Just like how you did with the Mario, the Mario ranking. What would you do, like one for like bands or movies and such? So I thought, you know what? Let's do Disturbed, because like I said, out of all the rock bands that I've liked, like everything from like Godsmack and Saliva and Seven Dust, POD. Skillet, From Zero and Static X, and even like Megadeth and definitely Metallica. Bands like that, like definitely from the new metal era and everything. I liked all those bands. I didn't really care. I liked the Linkin Park for a little bit, but after Meteora, they just went, and you know what I'm talking about. So, with that being said, let's take a look at, let's rank all the albums of Disturbed. And just like I said, for the sake of argument, this line right here is going to match the foundation. So anything below that is below the standards. So, that being said, let's start off with their very first CD, The Sickness. The Sickness came out back in March 7, 2000. I didn't hear it until like later, like definitely after. It was definitely after they did Steve Austin's version back in like September 2000. Yeah, because my oldest niece was born during that time. But anyway, I listened to it like a few months after. One of my friends had the CD, and it was incredible. And the songs on the CD, if anybody don't know, they had Voices, The Game, Stupefy, Down with the Sickness, Violence Fetish, Fear, Numb, Want, Conflict, the cover of Tears of Fear's Shout 2000, Dropping Plates, Meaning of Life, and 2 bonus tracks, God of the Mind and A Welcome Burden. All those songs, I gotta say, were absolutely incredible. I can't really name one bad song off of The Sickness. Like everything, I liked the game. I liked the Stupefy. Down with the Sickness was good, but it got outplayed after a while, especially with the whole abuse segment. Yeah, you can have that. So other than that, like I would say like probably the least one is definitely Down with the Sickness, because not because it's bad, it's just because it got outplayed way too quick. It got outplayed bad. Fear's a good one. Voices I liked, and even the two bonus tracks I liked a lot, especially in the Welcome Burden I liked. So for the Sickness, with it being like such a huge hit on during my teen years, it's definitely gonna be the foundation. It was definitely the foundation to what was to come. Definitely one of my all-time favorite CDs. Man, I wish I still had that CD. It got scratched up so bad. Oh man. Next up is their second CD, Believe. And the track listing on that one is Prayer, Liberate, Awaken, Believe, Remember, Intoxication, Rise, Breathe, Mistress, Bound, Devour, and Darkness. And one bonus track, Dehumanized. Let's see. When I first heard, well, during this time, it came out September 17th, 2002. I was just starting 10th grade. No, wait. I was starting 11th grade. Yeah, let's do that. All right, mistake. I first heard about it in 11th grade, and during my Votech class, it was in electronic class. We was having like one of our screw off days and everything. And one of the students, he was on the computer, and he was watching some music videos. And then I turned, and it looked like Disturbed. I was like, wait, is that Disturbed? Like, is that a new song? Like, I saw the video, but I couldn't see what it was. But I was like, is that a new song? And they say, yeah, it's a new song. Like, oh my God, I gotta hear this. And then my cousin Max, he had the CD, and we listened to it, and I was blown away by it. And then when I got the CD, I liked it a lot, but during a lot of bands during that time, especially like a lot of teenagers were very fickle and everything. And everybody was like, some of my friends were dropping off on it, and some others were saying like, yeah, this is actually pretty good. It's actually good, like continuation from the Sickness. But at first, I liked it, but I was like, I don't know if I would put it over the Sickness. But after re-listening to it, I re-listened to all these songs, so they're all fresh in my head. So listening to it now, compared to how it was then, how would I still put it underneath the Sickness, or would I put it above it? Because Believe, that came out, like I said, it came out 2 years after, and the themes of it were kind of like if the Sickness sounded like it was recorded in an insane asylum, this Believe would sound like it was like recorded on the sets of Queen of the Damned and the Scorpion King. And it had like some religious overtones to it and everything, which I was kind of like, just looking at the album cover, I was like, I don't know about this. But other than that, the CD was really good, aside from the album cover. But where would I put it above Sickness now? Yeah, because as much as the songs were absolutely great on the Sickness, Believe just felt like a more maturing. It felt like a more matured version of that, if that makes any sense. Next up is 10,000 Fists. 10,000 Fists came out in September 20th, 2005. I was 20 years old during this time. And the track listing is as followed: 10,000 Fists, Just Stop, Guarded, Defy, Stricken, I'm Alive, Sons of Plunder, Overburden, Decadence, Forgiven, Land of Confusion, a cover from Genesis, Sacred Lie, Pain Redefined, and Avarice. 14 songs. That's the most out of all the CDs. And 4 bonus tracks: Monster, Two Worlds, Hell, and Stricken. Well, Sicken, I'm sorry. So all together, 18 songs. That is crazy. Now, as far as first time I heard, well, I was listening to the radio, and all of a sudden they played a Disturbed song, and I was like, wait a minute, this ain't no Disturbed song I ever heard before. And then I was like, this I was re-listening to The Sickness, I was listening to Disturbed, well, the Believe, and I was like, this song's not anywhere on these CDs. And it came to my attention that there were going to be a new CD. Holy crap, a new CD? And I looked up online. It just said The Revealing. I don't know what that meant, but when I was working, and then I saw in the Best Buy ads that the new CD was going to be called 10,000 Fists. That was the very first time I saw the album cover and what it was going to be called. So my friend Carl Schleet, he had the CD, and we listened to it. Me, him, and the same pals that we played with the PS2 and the GameCube in early 2001. Those same pals, we was all listening to 10,000 Fists, and we loved it. It was banging, it was rocking, and they were surprised that that Land of Confusion was a Genesis song. They was like, "Is this Phil Collins?" Yeah, that's Phil Collins. But that was really good. That was a really good CD. As far as like which songs I don't really care for, well, 10,000 Fists sounded like it was more like a political protest and a riot, and we all know about that time. But as far as like, there was definitely a lot of political overtones in this CD. I don't care if they said this wasn't a political CD. No, after re-listening to it, there was definitely political, especially with like the president and a lot of political things like that. But overall, aside from all that, it was a really good CD, and that's definitely the very first one that incorporated guitar solos. So I really like that. I liked the Garden. I liked the 10,000 Fists, the song. I liked Stricken and Pain Redefined, and definitely the bonus tracks. I don't know why the bonus tracks weren't on the CD, man. But where would I put it? Where would I put it on the board? How would I rank them? I would put it up. I would put it above them, because at this time, as much as, like I said, as much as great The Sickness was, Believe was good, and 10,000 Fists just felt like a natural progression. But other than that, I'll put aside the political things on it, but it was a real good CD, especially with the incorporation of guitar solos. I loved it. Next, oh boy, their fourth CD is Indestructible. This came out June 3rd, 2008, and the title and the tracks are as followed: Indestructible, Inside the Fire, Deceiver, The Night, Perfect Insanity, Haunted, Enough, The Curse, Torn, Criminal, Divide, Facade, and 3 bonus tracks: Run, Parasite, and the cover of Faith No More's Midlife Crisis. I got to say, this has to be my favorite Disturbed CD above all of them. Indestructible was absolutely incredible. It just banging, hit after hit. Oh my God. The first time I heard about it was actually online. It was around like late 2007 going into early 2008. and I read something about it. I read about it saying like they was going to be coming out with a new CD, and that they was going to have a cover for Midlife Crisis. I thought, Midlife Crisis. So I listened. I actually listened to the Faith No More version first, and I thought, oh, this is going to be good. This is going to be a good cover. He's going to sound great. Then the CD came out. Oh, dude, Indestructible. The song was freaking banging. Inside the Fire was incredible. The Night has to be one of the best songs on the CD. And Perfect Insanity. I remember hearing Perfect Insanity like years ago, but they never put out never put out a real version of it. But that should have definitely been on the Sickness, and especially Divide. Divide definitely sounds like a Meaning of Life if you think about it. Like if you listen to those two songs, they sound very much alike. So definitely, out of all these songs, there's probably like maybe one or two songs I didn't really care for, but other than that, Indestructible is definitely my top favorite. Definitely in my top favorite of all time. Like Indestructible was like banging. Next is Asylum. Asylum came out in August 31st, 2010. The track list is as followed: Remnants, Asylum, The Infection, Warrior, Another Way to Die, Never Again, The Animal, Crucified, Serpentine, My Child, Sacrifice, Innocence, and a hidden track of I Still Haven't Found What I'm Looking For, cover of a U2 song, and a whopping 5 bonus tracks. Leave It Alone, a cover of Living After Midnight by Judas Priest, Old Friend, Mine, and 3. Oh boy. Asylum. To me, when I first heard about Asylum, when I first heard this, like it was coming out, I thought it was like, it's too soon. It's too soon to have Asylum, like a new CD. Even though it came out like, this was like 2 years after The Indestructible, I felt like it's too soon. But especially, it's kind of sentimental to me in a way, because this was during a time when I was me and my girlfriend were just talking, like we were just starting to talk. And then it wasn't until long, like a month later, we officially became boyfriend and girlfriend. And we was talking about Disturbed, and Asylum just came out. So Asylum is definitely sentimental to me, but as far as like the songs go, would I put it above Indestructible? If Indestructible sounded like it was recorded in a volcano full of murder, suicide, and psycho bitches and bad relationships, Asylum sounded like it was recorded in a haunted house with some political and social issues and like dark themes and such. And definitely two songs that, like, Another Way to Die, it was all right, but it got old real fast, especially with its messaging. Yeah. But where would I rank Asylum? I'm going to do this. I put Asylum under this Indestructible because they just felt like it was neck and neck in a way. And especially Indestructible left such an impact, especially on me personally. Me personally speaking, Indestructible just left such an impact that it was tough for Asylum to ascend over above it. But I'm not saying that Asylum was a bad CD, even though like Another Way to Die just got outplayed real fast. But songs like Asylum and Warrior, The Infection, Must Die, and the Animal, Serpentine, and all the bonus tracks were just absolutely great. All right, next up is something that not many people would consider a Disturbed CD, but because it was a side project from David Draymond, I still consider it a Disturbed CD, and it's called Device. Device came out April 9th, 2013, when Disturbed went on a hiatus around 2011. They put out Device. but I still can, like I said, I still consider it a Disturbed CD. But let's see now, Device. Not many people heard about this thing, so I'm gonna give it some. I'm gonna give it some. I'm gonna shed some light on it. And the track list is "You Think You Know," "Penance," "Vilify," "Close My Eyes Forever," a cover from Ozzy Osbourne and Lita Ford, and also has this is also the first CD that they started incorporating guest singers. And with this one, this Disturbed had Hailstorm with them. She was singing Lita Ford's lines. Next, Out of Line, Hunted, Opinion, War of Lies, Haze, and Through It All. And 3 bonus tracks: Wish, which is a cover to Nine Inch Nails, Part of Me, and Recover. Like I said, this was the first CD that they started incorporating guest appearances, because Hailstorm was on Close My Eyes Forever, and System of a Down was on Out of Line, and Rage Against the Machine's guitarist Tom Morello was on Opinion, and Avenged Sevenfold was on Haze, and Glenn Hughes was on Through It All. So you got a stacked roster here. But let's see, where would I put Device? Where would I rank Device on the CDs? Even though, oh, it's not a Disturbed CD, it's not a Disturbed album, it's for Device. Shut up. I still consider it, because it's the same singer. It sounds pretty much the same. So that's what I'm doing. And plus, this sounds like it was recorded in like an electronic underworld, and it sounded like, and it had an industrial metal vibe to it, similar to like Nine Inch Nails and Ministry and bands like that. So that being said, the lead single off it was "Vilify" and "You Think You Know." Those songs were all right, but they kind of got old. They got old real fast, because it just sounded like It just sounded like an electronic noise, and this David Draymond, you could barely hear what he's saying, because it just sounded like gibberish. But other than that, my favorite ones on it was Penance, Hunted, War of Lies, all 3 bonus tracks, and even Close My Eyes Forever. That should have been like the lead single for that, because that was a really good cover. With David Draymond and Hailstorm, that was probably the best one on the CD. That and Penance and War of Lies and Through It All. But this aside from a few songs that sound like I said, sound like industrial noise, it was actually a good CD. It's really good. But where would I put it? Where would I rank it amongst the CDs of Disturbed? And I know, like I said, I know a lot of people's gonna hate me for this, because it's not a Disturbed CD, man. Shut up. Let's see. I wouldn't put it above Indestructible. Definitely not above Indestructible, because, like I said, Indestructible just left a huge impression. But what would I put it above Asylum? Would I put a Device above Asylum? This is tough. This is very tough. It's definitely not. It's not above Asylum. It's not above this Indestructible. Would I put Device above Asylum?
2 hours later.
I'm gonna do this. I would put it in the middle, because As much as The Sickness, Believe, and 10,000 Fists were great, Device just had a sound to it. It had that different industrial sound to it that was it sounded cool. But especially like if you listen to some of the songs that was on that CD, they sound real good. But compared to like the Believe and The Sickness and 10,000 Fists, I would say some of them songs were a little, they just sounded good. I'm just leave it at that. Next, moving on. Next up, we got Immortalized. Immortalized came out August 21st, 2015. The track listing is as followed: Eye of the Storm, Immortalized, The Vengeful One, Open Your Eyes, The Light, What Are You Waiting For, You're Mine, Who, Save Your Last Goodbye, Fire It Up, The Sound of Silence, the cover from Simon and Garfunkel, Never Wrong, Who Taught You How to Hate, and then 4 bonus tracks: Tyrant, Legion of Monsters, The Brave and the Bold, and Warning Sign. 17 songs altogether. Let's see. Oh, that's why. I thought, like, didn't they already have, like, a Never Wrong or something? But no, it was, on Asylum, they had Never Again, so they both had Never on it. Anyway, sidetracked, let's get back to Immortalized. When Immortalized was announced, I thought it was like, oh crap, they coming back on a new CD. And it's called Immortalized. Heard the song, started The Vengeful One, sounded pretty cool. Then all the other songs on it sound real good, except, like I said, there's gonna be a couple of like political stuff and some other like songs that just, what the hell, man. But I liked it. Open Your Eyes. I liked The Light. Me and my wife loved The Light. I liked What Are You Waiting For and You're Mine, and even The Sound of Silence. As much, you might be thinking I probably wouldn't have liked the Sound of Silence, but it was actually really good. It gave me goosebumps, especially listening to the original version as well. It was like, yeah, they exceeded that cover in spades. And I liked it, Never Wrong, and Who Taught You How to Hate, and The Brave and the Bold, and even Warning Sign. It took me a long time to realize that I didn't know that they had the bonus track Warning Sign on it. Listen to it, it was actually pretty good. So that being said, where would I rank Immortalized? Immortalized sounded like it was recorded in Aganosa's stage from Killer Instinct 3. With some political and some songs on it. But where would I put Immortalized? It is definitely a step up from Device and definitely a step up from Asylum. But whoop, give me a second. But like I said, Indestructible just left a huge impression that it's going to be really tough for any CD to follow up on that. So I will put Immortalized above Asylum, but underneath Indestructible. Next up is Evolution. No, not that Evolution. Not that Evolution either. Come on. Thank you. Next up is Evolution. Came out October 19th, 2018. For that I say because when I heard of Evolution, I thought it was going to be great. And listening to and Are You Ready? And that was a really good song. I was really looking forward to this. And when me and my wife got it, we the track listing as followed: Are You Ready? No More, Reason to Fight, In Another Time, Strong on Your Own, Hold On to the Memories, Savior of Nothing, Watch You Burn, The Best Ones Lie, and Already Gone. And two bonus tracks, This Venom and The Uninvited Guest. You want to say, they say that this song, the CD is called Evolution. I say it's the evolution of all the things that Disturbed that's been plaguing their music for a while. Nothing but freaking political and social issues, and it's it felt very split. This CD felt split from freaking protest songs and things that you would hear on like MTV Unplugged. And definitely like the acoustic, the slower songs were definitely riding on the waves of the sound of silence. But I would say out of all these songs, this is definitely it was definitely their weakest CD. Out of like all 12 songs, all 12 songs, including the B-sides, there's no covers on this CD either. I would say about maybe 5 or 6 of them are actually good. I know Are You Ready is really good. Hold On to Memories was probably the best slow songs on the CD. Savior of Nothing is good. Watch You Burn was good. This Venom was good. And The Best Ones Live was good. All the others, you can throw those out into the protesters all you want, because I ain't listening to that no more. So definitely Evolution is definitely below The Sickness, below everything. It's that bad. It's not bad. Well, some songs are good, but the entire CD, all in all, was just bad. Like the slow songs, that could have been long. That could have easily been on like a separate acoustic version, or like a separate CD, because they did not. The songs, like the rockin' songs and the acoustic songs that's on the CD, just it didn't belong. I'm sorry, but I'm just saying, like, this the slow songs did not belong on a rockin' CD. It should have been on like a separate CD or something. Now we come to the last CD. The latest one that came out is called Divisive, or Divisive, or Divisive, however you want to pronounce it. This one came out November 18th, 2022. And this CD reminds me a lot of Sonic Frontiers, even though Sonic Frontiers came out 10 days before the CD came out. So to me, those two kind of go hand in hand. And the track listing on this one is definitely the shortest. 10 tracks, no B-sides, and no covers. There's Hey You, Bad Man, Divisive, Unstoppable, Love to Hate, Feeding the Fire, Don't Tell Me, Take Back Your Life, Part of Me, and Won't Back Down. I have to say Divisive, or Divisive, however you want to pronounce it, Divisive, I guess. This was definitely a shot of the adrenaline that we all needed, that I needed, especially following up after Evolution, or De-Evolution. Hey You was a great song. And when me and my wife first heard about it, we first listened to it, and she's the one that told me about what the CD was gonna be called. And I was like, okay, it's called Divisive. Okay, that's cool. And all the other songs that we listened to, Bad Man wasn't that good. Divisive, the song was good. Unstoppable was banging. And Feeding the Fire was good. The Don't Tell Me with he did a duet with the lead singer of Heart. That was a good one. That was a really good one. And Take Back Your Life, Part of Me, and Won't Back Down, those were like some of the best ones ever. I really liked those. So definitely Divisive. Where would I rank Divisive? Definitely better than Evolution. But would I put it above Indestructible? Ah.
5 long hours later.
Would I put Divisive over Indestructible? won't back down, and as opposed to indestructible inside the fire and perfect insanity. Would I put take back your life over perfect insanity? No B-sides, no covers. Indestructible had 3 B-sides, 1 cover. Man, this is tough. This is really tough. Would I put Divisive over Indestructible?
And now, a word from our sponsor. Rise up a pig, put it in a can, strap full. Rise up a pig, put it in a can, strap full. Yes, I am Scrapple Man, think I'll have another can. Rise up a pig, put it in a can, strap full.
I made my decision. I put it under this Indestructible because I did it because even though both CDs have really good songs, I'll put them neck and neck as far as like I said, great songs, because Indestructible just had Inside the Fire, The Night, Perfect Insanity, and Haunted, and Criminal, and Divide, and Midlife Crisis. My fault. Divisive had Hey You. It had Take Back Your Life, Part of Me Won't Back Down, and Unstoppable. All those songs are really good. But I put Divisive under Indestructible because of the songs Bad Man and Love to Hate. Because of those 2 tracks, as far as like the whole album goes. And especially because, like I said, Indestructible was just that big of a hit. I would put Divisive underneath Indestructible by like maybe 2 notches because they're that neck and neck. So there you go. There's my rankings for Disturbed CDs. Indestructible is definitely the best. Divisive is underneath just by a little bit. Immortalized and Asylum, Device, 10,000 Fists Believe, and The Sickness as the foundation, and Evolution is definitely the weakest of them all. So there you go. That's my ranking Disturbed CDs. I know it took forever because after listening to all these songs in the last 36 hours, like having them all still fresh in my head, I guess this was all from just my opinions. I'm not sure how anybody would want to rank their CDs. Shit, if anything, you want to see how I really would do as far as like ranking it with the foundation and everything. I'll tell you how I really feel. You want to know how I really feel, how I rank these? Here we go. This is how I really feel. From top to bottom. this is how I really feel about the Disturbed CDs. Indestructible is definitely the best. The Sickness was a high school classic, so you got to have it up there. Divisive was really good. Believe was good. Immortalized was good. Asylum was good. 10,000 Fists was really good. And at the bottom, we got Device, and definitely at the very bottom, Evolution. So there you go. That's how I feel about Disturbed CDs. That's how I really feel. So, hope y'all enjoyed this video. Hope y'all found it educational. And if you excuse me, I gotta go listen to some different type of music because I'm freaking spent on Disturbed songs. I don't care if I listen to another Disturbed CD for the rest of the summer. So if y'all excuse me, I gotta go listen to something else. So check y'all later. This is Dwreck signing out. See y'all on the flip side.
'Cause you're everything.